Good evening, everybody. This is Abdullah Abualrub again. I wanted to make a video today about the Nakba. I know there's a lot of videos about the Nakba, quotes from somebody who actually lived through the Nakba and went through the ethnic cleansing and saw it firsthand. He was affected directly by the Nakba. So firstly, I'm going to go over the Nakba, what happened in general, how many people were kicked out. So these are essential facts of the Nakba during the 1948 Palestine war that are not disputed. They're not disputed. About 750,000 Palestinians, over 80% of the population in what would become the State of Israel, were expelled or fled from their homes and became refugees. 11 Arab urban neighborhoods and over 500 villages were destroyed or depopulated. Thousands of Palestinians were killed in dozens of massacres. About a dozen rapes of Palestinians by regular and irregular Israeli military forces have been documented, and more are suspected. Israelis use psychological warfare tactics to frighten Palestinians into flight. I think today we'd call that terrorism, including targeted violence, whispering campaigns, radio broadcasts, and loudspeaker bans, looting by Israeli soldiers and civilians of Palestinian homes, businesses, farms, artworks, books, and archives were widespread. So this is the general history of the Nakba. This is the general outline of the big things that happened in the Nakba. So me, I'm from Jenin. My tribal lands are ranging from Jenin to Bisan. We have several villages. My family has several villages throughout these areas. We have a tribal society. So my village, Kabaltia, it's in Jenin, was one of the first villages, if not the first village, to attack the British when they were starting the colonization attempt on Palestine. And Kabaltia, to this day, and Jenin in general, is pretty safe from any settlements. We're almost like a city-state. I wouldn't say we're under the control of the Palestinian Authority, because in reality the Palestinian Authority don't have any means to protect us. A lot of times they're clashing against us, and nobody really takes them as any legitimate leadership. I'm gonna be honest, nobody in Jenin actually sees the PA as, oh, that's our country's government, because we don't believe that. At least the people in Jenin do not believe that there is any government that's ruling them except their own selves. So it's why I always say that we are a city-state. And Kabaltia as well is like a city-state within a city-state as well. Because we have our own economy. We have a population that's growing as big as Jenin, like the city of Jenin, even though it's a village. And we are lucky to have a tribal society, because this is what was able to make us protect ourselves for a long time. Because the people who don't have tribes didn't have people to protect them. They didn't have weapons, they didn't have horses, they didn't have as many warriors to go and fight at the front lines and attack the British. So this goes back to before the Nakba, even 1936. This is when my village first attacked the British, Kabaltia. So Kabaltia is it's split into 4 neighborhoods. Its population is about 50,000 people. A quarter of the city is for my family, Abualrub, and the other quarter is for Khmer, a family called Khmer, and another quarter is for a family called Zakarne, and another one is called Al-Nazal, the neighborhood of Al-Nazal family. So me, I'm actually from Zakarne and Abualrub. So I'm from 2 different families. Both of these families work together. We marry a lot. Both of these families have pretty big family, a lot of members in their families, a lot of top diplomats and whatnot. So the reason why I'm telling you this about my family is now I'm going to bring you an idea of a family that was not so big. It's not so big. I'm going to give you an idea of a family that's not so big. So I have relatives. I have nephews and nieces, and I have a nephew whose grandfather was actually in his village during the Nakba itself. He's very old guy, was living through the Nakba. He's still with us. We're lucky to have him, hopefully many more years, to hear these stories and this history, living history. So during the Nakba, he was in a village called Barfilia. This village is in, I believe, Western Palestine. I'm gonna put up some images of the village today. Unfortunately, this village has been destroyed. They were ethnically cleansed, and he remembers very well when the British came with the help of the Irgun and the Haganah terrorists. They came to the village and gave a warning to the people to leave. He told them, leave, anybody who's left will be killed. So many of the women and the children, they left. This grandfather of the relative I know, he was also a young guy at the time. He was very young, and he left with his family as well. He remembers very clearly that the British came back, the Irgun and the Haganah came back, and they started bulldozing homes and shooting at homes and people in the village. These villagers, they didn't have a tribe to protect them. They didn't have weapons to fight back. So whoever was left in the village was killed. The men, the women, and the children. Which is not a very surprising thing from the Israelis. It's not a surprising thing at all, seeing what they're doing today to thousands of people in Gaza. What's going to stop them from killing some villagers in a small village, And they did destroy buildings, and then they built on top of the mountain that's nearby a settlement. That's how they conquered the land. That's how they show that they conquered the land. So it's very unfortunate that this village and many other villages, hundreds of villages in fact, were also ethnically cleansed, and they were destroyed, and their people were kicked out or they were killed. Whoever was left was killed. So this is just more proof to show everybody that this war has been going on for a long time. This ethnic cleansing of my people have been going on for a long time. It's not something that just started recently or since October 7. It's not. It's been around far before Hamas existed, and far before Fatah existed even. This has been going on for a long time with the help and support of the British. They couldn't have done this without the British. And we know how much the British and the French, they divided the Middle East. So many wars that we have today came from them, dividing these countries, dividing these people, dividing our people. And of course the Israelis doing the same thing. They're just continuing the tradition. They made Palestine into 2 states now. And now they're fully invaded one state, one part of the state. What's left? The only hope we have is in the new generations, the younger people, keeping the traditions and our cultures alive, spreading the news of what happened historically, spreading the news of what's happening now, to open people's eyes to the truth, to garner more support of international countries to stop this genocide, to stop this ethnic cleansing of my country. So anyway, that was all I want to speak about today, was this personal account, the eyewitness account. And I will link the village in the Wikipedia as well, from Wikipedia into the YouTube description of this video. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.